Hi, Flosstube friends.
Hi, friends.
I'm Roberta.
I'm Lenny.
And we are
the SABLE Stitchers.
If you're new here, welcome. SABLE is an acronym for Stash Accumulated Beyond Life Expectancy. And I think we usually have a little bit of stash to share. And having just returned from the attic, I have kind of added to my acquisitions as well. But we're so happy to see you.
Oh, and Happy New Year.
Yes, welcome. And we're in the frigid.
Oh, it's cold.
It's not really north, but in the midst of winter.
North.
Yeah.
We're double digits today.
Yay.
We hit 10.
Yay.
So I guess we could say we're 10s. And yay.
Yes.
Our Chiefs won yesterday. I guess I don't really need this. Our Chiefs won yesterday. So first, there she is.
Oh. Well, we have a lot to share, a lot of exciting news to share.
News. So anyway, so happy to be here with you today and start the new year off.
This is a video mostly about cross stitch. I think you have some. You look like you have some wool applique to share. And then we just usually kind of start off by sharing a little bit of our life updates. So what's new? What's new? Is this? I don't think we filmed. We haven't filmed.
No, we haven't
filmed since before New Year's Eve. So,
got to do the 12 by 12. Actually, it was 4 by 12, and we can go through that later. It's just been cold. We've had about 4 inches of snow, I guess. But
school has probably only been in session a couple of days since
2 days since
winter break.
Yeah. So this is their 4th day in a row of not having school. So they're not sad at all. At all.
Well, they will be if they start missing some days later, have to make up days.
When the weather's nice and you're still going to school. But anyway, so they're doing great. Mason, my oldest, going to college. And so his mom was getting ready to start the 2nd semester. And his mom said, "You need some money for your lunch account." He says, "Mom, I'm not eating lunch at school anymore." He had taken so many AP classes that he only has to go to school till 9:30.
Oh my goodness.
So he gets up and goes to school, and he's home for the rest of the day. Well, I shouldn't say that. He works at a restaurant, so he can get a lot of hours in. But it's just weird, and she says, "I missed your last day of school." It's so funny. She's so funny because she's really. When I did this, she kept saying, "Mom, why are you so sad?" And I go, "It's just like the first and the last of everything." But anyway, she says, "I was there as his first day of school, and then I'm going to miss his last full day of school." And it's just really getting real. And but anyway, that's
that year
funny.
When it's the last of this and the last of that, that's always kind of hard for us parents, I think. But such an exciting time of life to be. He's just starting that next chapter.
I know, and I'm just so excited for him and
seeing him become, a little more adult.
I don't know. Of course, I'm the grandma, and I just think he's so handsome. So, and then Luke is starting swimming. And but gosh, he's probably grown 6 inches this year. So Grant got a job. He's working at Culver's on 135th Street in Overland Park. So if you're in that area, he will be taking your order for your cheeseburger or custard or whatever. And
even when it's cold like this, there's never a
bad time.
Never a short line at Dairy Queen or Culver's or any of those. No. So and we love our frozen custard and our ice cream. I guess
God, the custard is awesome. And Wyatt had his first meet. Came home with 5 medals.
Wow.
He came in 2nd in his group, and his team came in 3rd overall. No, 2nd overall too.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So anyway, he came in downstairs and jingling all his medals, and anyway, so great. They're doing great. Daughters are doing great. Husband is doing okay. So we are going to the doctor. We missed the doctor last week because of the snow, So he made it up the steps. He'd been practicing. So he made it up the steps.
That's a big milestone towards independence. So.
Yeah, so I'm really proud of him. So we'll be able to get out and go to the doctor tomorrow. So
good.
So hang in there, Ike.
Yes.
All right, that's really about all. I've just been stitching along and
got lots of great things to share.
All right. So, how about you?
Well, kind of our big news is we have a new family member. I called my sister and told her that, and she was like, "Oh," I said, "she's really cute and furry." So not a new grandbaby yet. This is like the ultimate enablement. After watching Lori Textilis do her Christmas vlog with her cute little kittens in the background, I finally succumbed, and we have a kitten. She was just here a little bit ago.
She came up and sneaked up around the corner. She's so cute.
Yes. I'll insert a picture of her here. We've had her just about 10 days now. Her name is Pepper. She's, I guess, about 8 months old.
Oh, she's little.
Yeah, I see she's going through the curtains now. She's at the first week. She was kind of afraid to come upstairs, but now she's pretty bold, and she is just getting into all kinds of things.
I was talking to Roberta this morning, and I hear her over the phone, "What are you eating?" And I was like, you haven't heard that,
No.
But anyway.
It's like you do a little bit of work, Mom. You play with the kitten, you do a little bit of work, you entertain the kitten, so have to keep her happy so she doesn't get into things, but it's so much fun. We've been without a cat for probably at least 2 years. It might be almost 3 years, because we lost 2 within short amount of time, and my husband said no more, and I kind of worked on him for a period of time, and it was just even though we travel quite a bit, she has actually been in a box at a PetSmart since August, and not been adopted. And so if we're gone every now and then and she has to be with a cat sitter, I think there's worse things for her. So she's just been a little joy. We love her dearly already, and so
she's so cute. So
hopefully we're not too old to keep up with the kitten.
I even had a joke for her. Okay. Our little Pepper. What does Pepper say when she tells a joke?
I don't know.
Just kitten, Mom.
So we were going to share whips today, and then I'm also going to share, I just got back from Sampler Symposium at the attic yesterday. It was my first time at Sampler Symposium. It was all you could ever expect it to be and beyond.
I can imagine.
So I was going to do a recap of that, and then I'm going to work on updating my website this week. I got notice of a new retreat in Waverly, Iowa, so I don't know. I saw the email come in, and I don't know the details yet, but I'll be listing that. And if you are interested in going to Country Samplers, I think they call it Stitch Camp I think it's in May. It's either in May or June. Registration for that opens January 29th, so be sure, and if you don't already subscribe to their newsletter, subscribe to their newsletter so you can find, she's right here. She might have to be put in a bedroom because she's going to be a little disruptive. She's getting pretty brave. So if you are interested in attending that, please
she's got the cutest face.
Get on their newsletter, and so that you know the details, because that's one that fills up quickly. A lot, I know Brenda Gervais is going to be there. I think she fell off the chair. Jennifer Richardson from Violets and Verses, and then Birgit from The Wishing Thorn, I believe, are their 3 designers. So it's going to be another great lineup. So please check that out. So, and then I just want to mention, I just decided on a word of the year.
Oh.
I kept hearing, so it was inspired by a Bible study I'm doing with our small group right now, the first sermon of the year that I heard before on the first weekend of the year, and just something that I feel that's going to make me a better person. And so my word of the year is love. So I want to be a more loving person, and just
you are, though.
Well, I just think Yeah, I want to be more loving towards everyone. So
I like that.
Yep. It's nice and short. So if I stitch anything, it'll be a short stitch. So
Well, good.
okay. All right. So do we want to jump into our whips?
Well, I have a framed finish I'd like to share.
Oh yes, please do.
Okay.
I forgot about finishes.
I
have a finish too. Yeah.
I actually, it was cold, but I was going to go out and needed to get some food. We had no food in the house. But anyway, I said, but I'm going to go to Hobby Lobby. And the minute I got out of the car to walk into Hobby Lobby, the snow just started coming down, and it was just sideways. It felt like little glass on your face. But by God, I was going to go pick this up, so I'd have it for you today.
So that was yesterday?
That was yesterday.
Okay.
So I finished Prairie Schoolers. Oh, gosh. That tree farm? I think that's a tree farm.
Okay.
So,
how cute is that? And what do you know what you stitched?
I stitched on 28 country, vintage country mocha and DMC 2/2.
That's wonderful.
I just stuck with the Prairie School colors.
That's a great frame.
It was a little big, but I just fell in love with the frame, and it was just a ready-made frame.
And then they framed it for you?
And then they framed it for me.
I love it. I think that looks great.
$25.
Oh, my goodness.
I know.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. You can't beat that.
So, and I told him, I says, well, I know my borders weren't real straight, but I think they did a really good job in stretching it out. So I'm happy with them.
That's wonderful.
So that was that.
And then my finish was, I finished Sarah Allen 1814. This is by Needlework Press.
Yay, you got her
This
done.
is on 30, I think it's 32 count cocoa. And with 2/2 with the called for colors. And this had specialty stitches that I did all the eyelets, so that took a bit of time. But then I left out the queen. I was chickened out in the queen stitches, but so happy to get that done and looking forward to getting that one framed as well.
I finished one. I said I was going to do one out of a punch needle magazine. I'm going to try to do one a month, do some smalls. I chose,
Hold that over here.
thank you. I chose that one.
I can't quite tell if that's being.
Yeah, it's in there. It's just a simple one by Teresa Miller, but I love, my word is simplicity. And even though it applies to many things. Yes, this came from
2022.
2020, winter 2022.
Yeah.
So even though maybe my life isn't always simple, I like for it to be simple, but I like my living to be simple. And so just in a lot of ways. So, but so I finished it.
So sweet.
And it called for 3 colors. Well, if you want to count the orange, you can use any color for his nose. But it's just so sweet. And I have a little frame that I think I'm going to put it in.
And what count was that?
Okay, again, that's a 28 count Country Vintage Mocha with DMC.
Very sweet. Love him.
So I'm going to try to pick something simple out of the book. I mean, there's a lot of things I'd like to do, but I just want some simple things to do.
And I know several people are talking about, some people for their New Year's Eve 12 by 12 pick 12 projects from magazines, or so that's a great start. Thought that was a spider. It's a little thing of thread.
Don't tell me there's spiders in here. Okay, I'll just go through some of my other things that I'm working on my houses. So there's January. Oh, I guess I should say. I had December.
December.
But I don't have it totally sewed all the way around. And I'm not going to do any embellishments until I get them done. And then my February, which I will do next. That'll be my February house.
And so these are buttermilk basin?
Buttermilk basin has all the wool.
And where did you get these from?
I ordered them from, I got these from Rita.
Okay.
But she had them all kitted up. I don't think she has any more kits, but you can always buy the patterns there, and you can always, she's got lots of wool to choose from. So that's my exciting. There she is.
I'm going to put her downstairs because she's just being too mischievous. Let's see if we can do this really quick.
Hi, Pepper. Hi, Pepper.
She's like, what is going on here? All right, I'm going to pause it and take her downstairs.
And this was a gift that my daughter's
How pretty
mother-in-law
is that?
made. And
oh, that's adorable.
I just thought that was so pretty. And then she had signed a little heart.
Oh,
back.
she did a beautiful job.
So I wanted to share that.
Okay.
And this was the pattern that Roberta had showed that she had done.
Well, I'm working on.
Well, but I didn't have the full pattern, so I had to shorten it up a little bit. But I have a trunk. I think I'm just going to lay it over the trunk after I finish the back. So it's just a shortened version.
Okay. Well, that reminds me, I did have a snowman to show too. This is a Primitive Gatherings design that I did a few years ago. She had, I believe it's Primitive Gathering, I'm sure it is. And she had the,
that's
kind
pretty.
of like the crazy quilt kind of design. Sorry.
Oh, I like the hexagon snowflake and
then you feather stitched around the edge. So.
ice skates. Oh my gosh, everything's so cute.
Oh yeah.
So yes.
Something I like to put out at this time of year.
So
just wanted to share that. That was a oldie but goodie. So.
I'm simplifying my craft room, and I've got some things to donate, but I went through all my wool and got the darks and the lights and the reds and the grays, and I'm just so excited to pull out all my wool books to play around with in the wintertime.
This is a great time of year to do that. So, should we start with New Year's Eve? Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's start with New Year's Eve.
Okay.
I had so many things that I wanted to share with that I wanted to stitch on. I got a piece of hair sticking out, but I started right at noon. I had them all laid out. I stitched the first one. I stitched for 2 hours, and what I worked on was Laura's. I wanted to get some work on hers, and I thought that'd be a good way to get started. And I was going along really well. And this is Emma Conda.
And when you said Laura is your
Laura's
daughter,
my
who's
daughter.
a preschool director.
So,
And you wanted to do this for her office?
she wanted to put it right at the when you walk into school. So that's what the teachers saw the first thing that they walked in. Little ones can't read, but I did get some done. I know it doesn't show up very well, but I was able to finish the legs and to get it darker. So I worked on that for a couple hours.
And it's this one?
Yes. So start each day with a grateful heart, which, gosh, couldn't get any better than that.
Mm-hmm. You're making good progress on that.
So I'm continuing working on it and trying to get it outlined, and then it's a good fill in. Mm-hmm. It's a good
like when you go to the
take to the doctor.
office.
Yep, it's a great, and so is preschool. We'll get to that later. So just nice, happy DMC.
They are very happy.
Happy colors. Okay. What did you do?
So I had one new start on New Year's Eve. I only worked on 3 pieces. I had 2 previous starts that I did, and these are all Blackbird designs. And so the first piece I worked on was Oh, Joyous Day. I had
Oh,
started
you got a
that
big one.
last February on the day our grandson was born. I wanted to get it done by this February, and I don't think I'm going to. But I stitched on it on, let me take this. I stitched it on New Year's Eve, and then I also took it with me and did some stitching. And unfortunately, some end stitching when I was at the retreat.
Isn't that the way it
So,
goes?
I'm almost done with the first row of flowers. And this is on,
Sweet.
I believe it's on Legacy, and with the called for flosses. So
Very pretty.
so, and I think it's 40 count Legacy. So this is
I like Legacy.
I love.
I
I
love
can't wait
Legacy.
to. The next row up is the bird. I'm really excited to get to the bird. And so something I'm trying this year, at least this month, is I took a lot of. I went through when we did our whip parade last time. There's always certain pieces that you want to get done that year, or in the near future for whatever reason. And so I took the patterns that I want to get done this year, and I broke them out into chunks. Just made kind of an educated guess, or just a wild guess, just a wag, I guess.
We just make a
Wing it. What I might be able to get done every month. So I'm giving myself assignments, and we'll see how it goes, and I'll
think
adjust from then, or maybe I won't work on an assignment for every project I want to get done every month. Maybe I'll have to alternate it, but I thought I'd do that because I'm one that likes to check the box. I like to have goals. It makes me feel good to meet it. It's not, to me, it doesn't make it seem more like work. It's just a way that it adds fun for me. And I know not everyone is like that, but I think it's something that would just add a little excitement to my stitching life.
And I think that's a good idea, because I had done a little bit of reflecting since the beginning of the year, and more later. As far as going through our whips and going through things, it's like, gosh, I forgot I even had this. But I decided to pull some out and say, okay, these are my quarterly goals. And I've heard other floss tubers say the same thing. And I think that's kind of a good idea. It's like you've got, 4 quarters of the year, and say, okay, these months I'd like to at least start on them. I have them kitted. Some of them I don't even have started. So, but I think that's kind of where I want to go to.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Yeah, I think it just depends on your personality.
yeah, I don't know if I'll do it. I'm kind of a rebel when it comes to stitching. So, but we'll see. It's just that I just want to do everything that I have, and I'm trying to figure out how to get my needle to the fabric.
Oh, I knew what you meant. So.
I'm sure you all probably do too. But, I'm just anxious to do it because I bought it for a reason and I want to do it.
Exactly.
So I have a
feel the
lot of
same
fun.
way. I love all my whips that I showed.
I got this from Creative Carol. I ordered last month.
So cute.
This is my little prairie schooler. So I keep all my little prairie schoolers in there. So I am working on, I took you out. Oh, shoot. I took him out. Oh, well. The new one I finished was Santa and the Dove, and this was 1985, I think. I think that was 1985. And I did show you that one, and I showed you that one. And then I also finished the little gingerbread
That is
man.
adorable. I love that gingerbread house.
And the one that I am working on is the one with the candy cane pole, but you won't be able to. So that's his backpack and his jacket. So, but anyway, I am so excited about prairie schoolers, and so every night after I finish what I feel like is my stitching, I pull out but I can't believe I pulled him out. Make sure. Yeah, I did. Okay. But I love to work on prairie schoolers. So that's kind of, I'm so excited for that quilt to come in December. So keep your fingers crossed. Okay, so that was,
Oh, and I'll insert a picture here. We got a picture from one of our viewers, and she did the same thing that Lenny's talking about. She took all the squares and made of those prairie schooler squares and made it into a quilt, and was gracious enough to share a picture.
beautiful.
And it is
So inspiring.
We'll insert a picture here.
I think she did more than 12. I think she did 16
I think she did, and she said she started this before COVID, I believe, and then kind of went to town during
so
COVID.
it just really got me hyped up. So
Yes.
excited.
Okay.
All right.
All
go
right.
ahead.
Well, mine. So the second thing I worked on, actually, I'm not sure what order I did this during New Year's Eve, was from this one. It's called A Mighty Oak, or Mighty Acorn, I guess.
Oh, Mighty Acorn.
I think I keep calling it Mighty Oak, and
I
it
do
is
too.
from the Winds of Autumn book. And you can't go wrong with any of the projects from that book, of course. And this is on 32 count legacy. And so I did this over 2. I don't usually like to work on 32 count. It's not my preferred linen. But
Did you use 2 threads then?
I did use 2 because I did a couple projects where I only used 1. I increased the count of the linen and then only used 1 thread, and then I got it done and I looked at them and was disappointed that they were so light or they didn't have the look that I wanted. And so I thought, well, I am going to just do this on 32 because this one has that beautiful house. I want that house to show up really well. And so I'm following the
Okay.
designer's specifications on that one.
Well, after I worked on Santa Clauses for a little bit, gosh darn it if I didn't get tired and I took a nap. So the next 2 hours was sleeping. But then I woke up and I was like, uh-oh, I got to catch up. So I pulled out my Horse Country Holiday by Artful Offerings. I just think he looks so handsome. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get too much done. I did a little frogging, but this is what I got done. So the horse is done. That one stripe that goes down to the middle, I found out is off. I just haven't frogged it out yet. And then I started on his coat. So, but I've got all the border.
Very handsome.
So the border's got a lot of snow up around here, and then snow, snowflakes, and then this beautiful kind of garland down here. So I still have quite a ways to go, but he's something that you could leave up all winter long.
Yes, he's beautiful. And then the last thing I worked on New Year's Eve, and this was a start for me. I've had this kitted up for quite some period of time, and I wanted to get to it, so I'm happy to finally get a tiny start. That's Humming of the Bees, again by Blackbird Designs, and I am doing this on 40 count. I knew this 40 count Duxbury by Fox and Rabbit, which I love this linen.
I love Duxbury.
So that's my little start with the called for colors. And this linen, I just think this linen is
beautiful.
wonderful. Would be great for a lot of different projects. And those are the flosses. Those are the beautiful flosses for this.
I guess I forgot to say that the Country Holiday Horse was 32 count. And I apologize, I don't know the name of the fabric. Our LNS, Rita at our LNS had picked it out for me. And it only calls for 5 colors. So, not very many.
And a lot of people have done that. Country Sampler has a conversion for that as well. And I just wanted to share a new scissor fob that I got courtesy of stitching friend Jackie. And
Thank you, Jackie.
Lydia got a set as well. But is that not beautiful? It fits perfectly in this
She knows, must like Prairie Schoolers because I got another little mini and I don't have this one. So thank you. And then she made me a beautiful set of scissor fob. Oh, this is from my friend. Happy Valentine's early. So then Jackie made me this little blue cross-stitch queen. I don't know where she got that idea. But anyways, thank you, Jackie. That was so thoughtful. My last, again, like I said, I got 4, but I spent a lot of time on this. It doesn't look like I did, but I did. So this is my New Year, Al Forrest New Year sampler. I've had this for a couple of years, and I went ahead and had kind of a problem with the floss. I did DMC, and I thought, that's fine. And I tried Al Embroidery, Al Forrest, to check to see if they had a floss kit. And I didn't see one. And I thought, well, this is an old kit, and maybe, they don't make them anymore. Well, lo and behold, I did find them. And I know they're kind of messy right now, but this is all, it's beautifully variegated. Mm-hmm. So the first time I ordered it...
And there's a lot on each bobbin.
Yes. I think there's 8 yards or...
Oh, wow.
Maybe 10 yards even. But I didn't know any other way right now to... But they're so variegated. They're so beautiful.
That's going to be amazing.
So I had... I ordered a floss. You have to use PayPal. And so I did that. Because this comes from... Russia?
Ukraine or Russia?
One.
Russia? Okay.
I think it's Russia. But
so you ordered it directly from their website.
I ordered it directly from their website, okay. And then I got an email the next day that's like, "You forgot to pay." And I go, "I thought I hit PayPal." So anyway, I didn't. So I went back and I did it again, but I didn't think it went through. And lo and behold, they showed up. So I started it on DMC, and then I changed it because these were just too beautiful.
Yeah, that is wonderful.
So this is what I got done. So,
that's really pretty.
It's not a lot, but believe it or not, that took a lot of time. But I think this will be so gorgeous. So here's the DMCs, and they were
See how variegated those are.
They were pretty, but it's there's just something about that. There's something about their floss.
It has a little bit of, I'd say it adds some richness to it.
It does, and a little bit of shine to it. So anyway, so this is my big piece for the year. It will take me all year, I'm sure. And that's all I did for 12 by 12. I totally enjoyed it. I did it last year, and I did 11 out of 12 last year. And nothing really shows on it too much, so I wasn't going to really stress myself. It takes 10 minutes to get ready. So really, you're only getting 45 minutes. So I wanted to spend more time working on what I had. And boy, when you get old, you need a nap.
Well, I know I didn't stay up to midnight, and I didn't get to participate last year, but I enjoyed it. It was very relaxing and stress-free, and a fun way to spend New Year's Eve. I think we're binge watching Doc Martin because we haven't seen some of the last episodes, and so we did that, and I just stitched. And so one of the other things I'm doing this year is I really thought I was going to get this done last year. That's HL's Moth by Kathy Barrick, and I got most of one wing done and kind of stalled out, and so I have been just trying to do one strand of floss a day on this, and so I made some really good progress on this wing here, and Unfortunately, I found out some of the green was misplaced, so I had to do a bit of frogging as well. But I think if I can continue plugging away at it with just one floss a day, one strand a day,
Makes a difference, doesn't
and
it?
sometimes sometimes there's one. I just have a little bit to finish on this. I'll do this and then do my one strand. So I'm not totally, 100% adhere to that plan. But it does. It's amazing how much difference it makes. So there's been some days I've worked on, who is this person? I've worked on 3 things on one day. It's been amazing. And I'm doing this with the called for silks. This was the first project I did with NPI silks. And it didn't have a huge number of silks, so it was a good one to start with. And I do love using them. They're so beautiful. They look so pretty on this project. And I just love how they stitch. So.
I just had, I don't have any other whips, but I have been collecting the new Fabulous House series from Cottage Garden. So I've got my first house. Oh, I should take it out. So this is the first Santa's house. Isn't that just gorgeous? That's not something you can do in just, a day or two. But I want to collect them all. So I got my second house in. And here's the castle. Oh, they're just so stately looking. Mm-hmm. So I need to find the fabric because it looks like everything's done on the same.
And it looks like it has a little unicorn here on the bottom. I was thinking this would be like a nice memento if you, go to Europe and see castles or something. But
like when we have, it's when we went to
so pretty
Amsterdam, some of them didn't look very castle-y, but some kind of look like dungeons. We went to one prison. It was a prison, and it still had the shackles.
Oh, wow!
It was in one of those old wood mills. But anyway, I just think these houses are lovely. So I'll collect them, and then I'll say, okay, this year I'm going to work on those houses.
And on, I think it was the first Friday of the month, I pulled out the Reverend Gordon's wash bottom from Not Forgotten Farm, and this was my birthday start, and I know several people have started him as well, and so I got his little feet, started his little stockings.
His little tootsies.
And so now I think I'm going to try to make the little cat look like Pepper, because he's kind of like a little tiger.
Yeah, that's
anyway.
it. That'd be cute.
She has like a big swirl on her side, so going to try to capture that.
It's kind of spotted. Well, that's really all I had as far as show and tell. I did pull just some quick winter patterns. A lot of you are aware. Another Cottage Garden, Peace on Earth.
With a pretty cardinal.
And this was a bendy stitchy trimming the tree. I loved how the tree was blowing over and the snowman looked like he was blowing over, so I thought that one was cute. What else did I have here? And a lot of little cottage. Snowman's cottage. Oh, looky there! I got 2. Ooh, this could be a little giveaway at 8,000. So a little cottage garden. Snowman's cottage.
Because a lot of people do decorate with snowman at this time of year.
I love little snowman.
He's very cheerful.
It's a little snow love. And I have various other peppermint pals with thy needle. Little Bent Creek Redbird sampler. So just some fun little winter
possibilities.
In case
so.
I run out of things to do. So, I was going to share this. I have looked everywhere for it, and I haven't been able to find it. My mother had cross-stitched this for me, and for my sister. I did get my sister's, her finished, and poor Lori, they had some major water problems in their basement, and it molded pretty bad. And so I was fortunate to find the pattern, and I do want to redo it someday. But
Number 29.
but I don't think it.
How
I don't
pretty.
think I can fix the mold, but I don't know what happened to mine. But anyway, somewhere in the move. Okay.
Okay. I had a January 1st start, and I think I showed this last time, and I didn't say the pattern name. It's a Study in Blue by Sue Hillis, and when I was at StitchCon, I saw the finished piece in the annex at the shop, and here I'm doing this.
color blue.
So
It's just-
you have to do this on 32 count so that it fits the box. And someone told me they did it and it still didn't fit the box. These paper mache boxes, they're all a little different in size. So I would just say that before I cut it, I'm going to make sure that it will stretch all the way around. Otherwise, I might just have to leave like a little extra and put a few little extra motifs in there to make sure it's going to be long enough. But
that blue
here
is
what I started.
amazing.
And the blue is, so this is on, like I said, it's 32 count Belfast, and it is color, and this is a color and cotton. And the only thing I could tell you is the tag says limited edition. So this is what I bought when we were at their shop last September. And the blue is Summer Sky by Classic Colorworks. And you don't really see it. I'm not seeing a lot of variegation, but I just thought the blue looked really pretty on that linen. So that was my
Not a
New Year's
lot,
Day
but it's
start.
a little bit of a light, but it is a beautiful color. Oh.
And then a lot of people are stitching a Prairie Schooler, and I think it's the Winter Village, I believe is the name, in honor of Ginger Shull's birthday. And I started stitching in December as well, and I am stitching, let's hold it right, the December pattern, also by Prairie Schooler. And I finished the fireplace.
Yay!
So this is, a lot of people say this really is comfort stitching. It is just so much fun to stitch this. And I'm doing this on 40 count linen. It's Weeks Dye Works, and the color is just linen. It's just, the color is just linen. So I just wanted a clean, kind of a plain white for the background for that. And I have enough, I can do a few more. Then I picked up the berry bowl sampler that I'm doing with our friend Kay, and she really wants to get it done this year, and I do too, and I'm making some progress
look
on
at
that. So I finished this one and then started my next berry bowl. So since I was gone yesterday, I didn't work on that. I need to try to get in my berry bowl for this week. I'm trying to work on this on Monday is the kind of the day that I usually try to work on that, and that is a collaboration that's been out a few years now between Beth from Heartstrings Samplery and Tanya from Scarlet House. And I think that site is on, let's see, that site I believe is on Heartland 36, and we're doing this on 36 so that our sides will match up. So I'm stitching this side and going to give that to Kay, and then she'll give me the side that she's been stitching. And then one of my goals to finish this year is Jane Cowrie by the Scarlet House. I started this 2 years ago. Just had a small start on it and then barely touched it last year. And I love it. This is another piece I got kitted in the NPIs. and it's stunning. It is so stunning. So I started on the bird. I worked on the house, the fence, the trees. That house, I guess when I had ordered the floss for this, they didn't have the correct color for the house. So I started it with something I already had, and I think it's a little too blue-red. So when I was at the attic this weekend, I picked up a color that's a little more of the orangey red that's called for.
That border is
yes,
amazing.
yes, and it's a little bit time consuming because each leaf has 3 different shades of green.
That.
Each flower has 3 different shades of pink, and I realized when I picked it up this time, I did the wrong color on the second part of the pink, and so I'm just going to adapt of taking Jean Lee's advice, always move forward, and so I just did a lighter color for the very top of the flower part, and going to call it good. This one was not. I had to do a lot of frogging on, I think, the grass earlier. I'm not doing any more frogging. So
Ribbit.
yeah, I know. But I'm really looking forward to making progress on that. And then let's see, do I have one more? Nope, that was it. So those are, I told you, I worked on a lot. Some days I worked on 3, and it was nice to see a little bit of project on all of those. So
I had one more that I worked on was North Pole. And anyway,
I can do that one.
he's really looking pretty dapper himself. So, but yeah, it was a fun couple of weeks of stitching. So it just felt good. And our weather's been so cold and snowy that
It's been cold.
It just
hit, and when it hit,
soup
it hits.
and for dinner and stitching for dessert. So
Put it.
and I really didn't have any new haul. I did get the castle. Got my flosses from my Floss Fix, my classic colors. So real springy looking. But
Did you want to mention any Flosstubers you've been watching?
I've watched so many, but I didn't have my little notepad next to me, so I didn't get them written down. But I think I'm going to remember, and I don't. So I'm going to pass.
I wrote it down right away. There was a new Flosstube, and it's by Mindy Egan Design. It's Egggen, and she has been she's been like a card designer, and so she's been doing videos all along for her card business, and now she's moving into cross stitch. So she's someone, she is very seasoned at putting together a video, and it's a really good video if you're new to cross stitch, because she was new to cross stitch and she went through and explained all the terminology, how to pick the linen. It was just a really good overview, linen or the Ada, and really good overview, I thought, for new stitchers.
That's a good idea, because there's so many new stitchers out there, and we take things for granted sometime. And
yes.
That's good to come from a new stitcher to a new stitcher. So we try to be open about that, but sometimes we just forget. But
so that was
I'm gonna look her up.
Mm-hmm. And then Elizabeth Ankin Stitch did a whip parade, and I really like the whip parades where the person doing the filming will pull them out and look at them, and they will talk about why they like them or why they don't. And I loved it. She said, "I hope this doesn't turn into a negative whip parade," because she was
She's very
saying,
honest about it, and that's fine.
well, yeah, it's your
That's great.
opinion, and if it's something that you are not going to stitch on anymore, I appreciate the thought process of why you aren't enjoying it, because it might help us know, well, oh yeah, that's why I don't really love to pick that piece up. So I thought that was great. I thought that was very helpful.
So thank you, Elizabeth.
Yeah, that was very fun. And then 2 new to me, and they're not new floss tubes, but Audrey and Myron. I met both Audrey and Jessie at the Sampler Symposium, and Audrey's floss tube is Stitch Stitch Bead. she stitches a lot of Hands Across the Sea, some very challenging pieces, and does beautiful, beautiful work. So that one was a lot of fun. I was telling her I did walk on the treadmill a couple mornings of the when I was there to try to get some of my steps in, and I was watching her floss tube, so she was keeping me company on the treadmill. And then we kind of have a funny story she's going to share about when we did like a clown car routine coming back from the attic. So
another person, another person, another person.
It was a lot of fun. And then Schoolhouse Stitcher Jessie, got to meet her and had dinner with her one night. And again, a floss tube that's very inspiring. And I think she had on her Instagram, she did some like white work and hardinger and stuff that I've been afraid to tackle. And it's amazing. It was so beautiful. So really appreciated spending some time with you, Jessie, and getting to know you. So that was a lot of fun. So please check out those floss tubers. I know Lenny mentioned a lot last week, and I forgot to get those mentioned or to list them below. I'm going to try to get
I
these
have the
all
list
listed.
here.
Good. I'm copying that before you go
Okay.
so that I can list those. So
Okay.
do you want to do another? Do you have another joke?
Yes. We're going to introduce Pepper here and things that she likes to do. Did you know before she was adopted, she was on a bowling league?
She was.
Yes. And do you know what you call a kitten bowling league?
No idea.
Alley cats.
Alec. Of course. Oh, very fun.
Sweet little Pepper.
Yes. So life is going to be different. That's not going to be
Yes.
the same. So
Poor little Pippa. And we have Pippa and Pepper.
Pippa, I know.
But, I'm out there. It had snowed so much, but it was real light, fluffy snow. You could just sweep. So I'm out sweeping the patio and a little bit into the grass so they could go outside. Well, the big dog across the street was out, and what they usually do is, they go down to the corner of the fence and they
Typical dog fun.
have their barkery going. But anyway, so they decided to jump this big mound of snow that I had just pushed off. Well, they got halfway down the sidewalk, still in snow, and her little paws were going like this, and they're shaking their back leg, like this. And so I run out real fast, and get her and bring her in. And then about that time, Millie had frozen, and of course Pippa's like 5, 6, 7 pounds. I don't know what she weighs, but Millie's 40. So, but trying to pick her up. But they froze. So please watch your pets outside. Oh my gosh, it was so scary to see them get cold so fast.
It's been. So we got probably 6 inches of snow here. I don't know how much you had last
not that
week,
much, but
and then you got some more snow, and so got that kind of cleaned up. It hasn't melted at all because it's just been too cold. And
we had negative 27, I think, over the weekend. So Kansas doesn't. And our the Chiefs game that they had here for the wild card game, it was the temperature. It was a night game, but it was negative temperatures when the game started, and then when they left the game, it was like negative 20 something. But anyway, it's been very, very, very cold.
And I saw people were saying why didn't that game got postponed because it was so cold. But I think the Bills game, from what I understand, was postponed because the stadium was just full of snow.
Oh, they had snow. We just had cold, but they had snow. So
yes. So
okay. Well, I guess you got your symposium.
I was going to do an attic recap, and I have my notes here. And so this was my first time going to Sampler Symposium, and I flew in on Thursday, and it started on Friday. And of course, it wouldn't be a trip for me unless there was a mishap. So I flew in, and I got my.
She was so pretty.
I got my Uber to the hotel, and at first I called the hotel and I said, "Do you have a shuttle?" And they said, "No, unless you're with Mesa Airlines, because they have a contract with Mesa Airlines to the pilots stay there. So I said, okay. So got to the shuttle, got checked in. I thought, no one's sitting out in the lobby stitching. They all must be shopping at the attic. So go up to my room, came down several times. And so last November, when my friend Leslie and I had gone to these antique shows in Amish country, I had picked up a punched paper piece for Vicki Jeanette that I saw. I sent her a pic. I thought it was kind of unusual. It was an antique. It had been originally owned by an antique dealer, and so I had sent her a picture and ended up going back and getting it for her in, it's kind of a long story, but I was going to bring it with me, and so I got my suitcase out, and it's too big to fit in the suitcase, and it's framed and it has glass on it, and I didn't want to break, so I put it in a picture box, moving box, and checked it. And so I had that to deliver to her. And so out of, appreciation, she asked if I wanted to come hang out with her. And so I had contacted a couple gals I know who work at Country Sampler and asked, and they were also going to her house. So they were renting a car. And so we had arranged that they were going to pick me up at the hotel and we were going to go there together. So they called me and they said, well, so what room are you in? And I said, I'm in room 333. And so then they called back a little bit later and they said, well, we went to room 333 at the hotel and it's Mary Cox. And they said, go out and check your room number and see what room you're in. So I go out and I said, well, it is 333. And they said, well, what's the address of your hotel? Well, there's apparently 2 Hilton Garden Inns in Tempe, and I went to the wrong one.
No wonder nobody was stitching.
I know. I know the front desk thought I was really, demanding, because I said, well, when does the shuttle go to the attic?
The what?
That's exactly what she said. She's like, well, I never heard of the attic. And I asked if I could get the attic rate, for my room. So I thought they probably thought I was really something.
She's just pretty.
So anyway, Pam and Linda generously came and picked me up, and we went to Vicky's house, and they dropped me off at the hotel I was in, but they had checked with the right hotel, and they did have extra rooms, and they said, well, we have a shuttle that runs between the hotels. So the next morning I called and they sent the shuttle over to get me, and the man who was driving the shuttle said, oh, weren't you here last year? And I said, yes, I was here for summer school. And so he said, didn't you do the same thing last year? I said,
You remember?
I said, no, I really do try to make different mistakes every time, not the same one, So anyway, and then it was funny because later in the week I got to spend a little bit of time with Mary Cox and her assistant Peggy and Peggy's daughter, and gave them the story behind why these 2 ladies came to their room knocking, and they, oh, it was you they were looking for. And she said they were expecting when Peggy opened the door, she said, I was expecting someone else, so I was surprised to see them, and they were surprised to see us. So they kind of got a little chuckle out of that too, and knowing who the dippy person was who went to the wrong hotel. But it all worked out.
I'm glad it worked out
in the end. So it was wonderful. I missed an evening of stitching. That's why no one was stitching in the lobby. But I would have been like you. I would have gone to happy hour if I didn't know by then, and been like, oh, so are you taking any Mary Cox classes to?
Just sit down to breakfast and start talking to somebody.
I know. It was crazy.
Oh, well.
So anyway, here's my little book. I took notes because one of the amazing things about Sampler Symposium is the instructors are so knowledgeable about the history of needlework, and I just learned so much. And obviously I can't hold it in my brain very long, so I took notes so that
because when you get older, your brain rattles around.
It shrinks, yes, but that's my excuse. And so the first presenter was Vicki Jeanette and Megan Jeanette from Needlework Press, and and you might have seen a lot of this on on Instagram, a lot of people posted really wonderful stories or pictures about what we got. We got this sister sampler, and so and Vicki had someone read a wonderful story about what happens in one of the sisters' lives later, and we are all anxious for her to finish the book because she kind of left it at a cliffhanger, and so we want to find out the end, and that's the rest of the story kind of thing. But beautiful, beautiful pieces. And then she also gave us for our make and take this tribute bookmark on perforated paper, and usually that's the first thing I do, but I haven't done it yet, but I saw a couple ladies working on it, and I can't wait to get to that because that is just beautiful. And then she gave it to us.
I love that.
Isn't that a wonderful bag?
Yes, it's a great bag.
She gave us the ribbon to do it. It's like a double-sided bookmark, and she gave us the ribbon to back the bookmark, and then these are the colors.
Oh gosh, and they look beautiful.
They look really great on the. Well, actually, I should hold it up like this. They just really pop on this brown perforated paper. So
that's going to be fun.
I know that was.
Here, I'll take it.
Okay. And then, so the interesting thing between these two was these two samplers were made a few years from each other, and Lavinia was the older daughter, and her mother was, I believe, a dressmaker, and so her sampler is a little more, it's like more of a mirror image kind of thing, more, I would say it's a more composed, motifs are more composed. And then Sophia was the younger daughter, and by the time she did her sampler books had come out, and they had some example of these sampler books where they had these different motifs, and so she just picked a variety of motifs from the sampler book and used those on her sampler. So that was so much fun to hear that history and just see the difference. Just a few years made, and the access to that book made in their two samplers. The next day, we heard from, well, let's see, I guess we heard from Nicola first. I'm going to go out of order and just talk about, we also heard from Katie Strachan, and she brought her Britomart box with her, which is like museum quality piece. It is so amazing to see it in person, and I'll try to insert some pictures here. And what she talked about is a lot of the stitchers in the past would take a sampler, and then they would make a variety of little companion pieces with it. So she is designing a band sampler to go with that Brito box, and she showed us the work she was doing on that, and it's amazing. And the other thing that she's very articulate. She's an English major, so her talks are like hearing a college level class. And it was really interesting to me because she talked about, I get wound up about, it's a reproduction sampler. I have to stitch it in just the colors that it's in, and I have to, use the stitcher's name and, that kind of thing. But what her point was, it's kind of more a reimagined sampler. That's a
good word.
Because we're not using the exact needles they would have used. We're not using the exact materials and supplies that the original stitchers did. And we're obviously older than these schoolgirls, and we're using, good lights and magnifiers and all this kind of thing. And, she just talked about how, and I know this about myself as well, when you're younger, you just go for it. You don't know you can't do something.
Well, you don't know you have a choice.
Well, that's true. Yeah. It's like you are going to stitch this sampler. So, but I always think, how many of those girls stitched it and they were so sad that this is the only, if that was me and this is the one beautiful sampler I'm going to make. So I could see why they would take little motifs and return to the joy of, creating with your needle and thread kind of thing. So that really spoke to me. And so I bought 56 linen because it's like, I'm going to be fearless.
Oh, you
give
did?
It a go. Well, Jean Lee too, but it's like, yes, I'm going to try it. I'm going to go for it. So that was really enabling that.
Oh,
that she
I
said
keep
that.
thinking when I do the 25 and I do the 1/1, and I think that's 50. Okay,
Well, that is.
it's when you think
Yeah.
about it, it's like I can do that. Or
Gave us a list of references, and just talked about her process for designing her band sampler, which is beautiful. So much fun.
Beautiful.
And then we heard from Nicola Parkman, and she talked about how women are mostly neglected in history, and we heard that too when we heard from Pat from Dying to Stitch, that a lot of times the only time you see women's names is they put their names on their sampler. And she talked about samplers varying by area, and linen versus wool, elegance versus colorful, how the design of the sampler reflected the culture, it could reflect the country. And then she gave us like a quiz at the end on, I can go turn on, pause it, go turn up the heat.
Oh, that's okay. I'm just gonna put on my vest here.
I'm freezing Lenny out here. It is
You
getting
see
a
my
little
breath
nippy.
yet?
Our our thermostat automatically kind of turns off during the day if,
that's
if
okay.
you don't keep
I don't have any
reminding it
arms in
people
this
are
anyway.
here. Trying to think where I was going with. Oh, so she gave us a quiz, and and then the people who had the most, and it was like, what kind of sampler is this, and well, how can you identify this sampler as being a Scottish sampler, and just a lot
That's
about.
very interesting.
Yeah, the focus was on samplers of Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and England. So it was it was super interesting, and she gave us 2 samplers, and so when the symposium, you got a gift certificate to kit up the sampler of your choice, and so this is the one I got kitted up with, Mary Austin,
that is so
1868. So that was the sampler we got this year. Amazing. So I'm sorry for the crinkling, but I try to keep everything together in my suitcase so I know what I'm doing.
It's got kind of a blush to it.
Yes, and this is, and I picked this linen out. This is Grace Notes fabric in 46, and it's Molly. So it's a nice cream color. It
Very
feels
cream.
very, very nice.
There's just a. Well, see, now that looks very
Buttery.
But when you first took it out, I thought it looked a little rosy.
And then
that's
here's
beautiful.
the 100 threes
Oh, it's gorgeous.
that are included for
So
that.
saturated.
So
Oh, that's gorgeous. Happy is the.
and then this
Oh,
was
these colors are just gorgeous.
This was the other sampler that we received from Nicola. And this is Anne Morgan's Hear My Prayer. Hear my prayer, O Lord, and let my cry come unto thee. And she was 8 or 13 years old when she did her sampler, her sweet sampler. Okay.
I love the pictures that she does.
Okay. Then the next day, we heard from Kathleen Littleton of Cross Stitch Antiques, and she prepared a book on Irish samplers.
Oh, that's kind of like the cricket.
It is, yes. And gave a really moving talk about Irish samplers and, what they, as being a person of Irish heritage, what it meant to her. She played a tape of her her singing an Irish song. And this is her, this is her A Child's Petition. So it was a very wonderful presentation on Irish samplers.
Beautiful.
And then this is the pattern we received from her.
Oh, that's another one. It's got some beautiful
Isn't that
colors.
pretty?
Oh,
And then our final presentation on Sunday morning was Mary Cox. I have never taken a class from Mary Cox before, and if you have a chance to do it, boy, I would highly recommend it. You know, you see some of her projects, and you just don't, until you see it in person, you just don't understand how amazing and wonderful they are. Just all the little needlework accoutrement that she, you know, includes in each project. And I will try to link below. Lisa, I think it's Lisa Lyons Duffy, or at least I think it's Lisa Lyons Duffy, lady who did a floss tube about all of the pieces, all the Mary Cox pieces she's stitched over the years, and I'll link that below because that's a great kind of overview of the kind of projects that she did. But she gave us the project in this bag, each of these, and so there's 160 of us who got these little crocheted,
Oh my gosh.
these flowers that were crocheted by Peggy, and then all the things that are kitted up. You know, we just don't understand how much work it is for the designers. But she shared that she had a huge jar of walnut shells, and Peggy did like 2 scoops in these little bags of walnut shells for each one of us. And you can just imagine how long it takes I think it took them multiple days to just do the walnut shells for the project. So this is the project we got on Sunday. We got the tray, either the black tray or the brown tray, the alphabet, and the supplies to finish each of those little pieces. The booklet has really, really wonderful pictures in it and description, but what I'm going to do is she graciously sends around you can see the finished pieces, and then the pieces in stages as they're being assembled, and you can take pictures, and I'm going to get those pictures printed out and include them, because you know I'm not going to finish this in the next week or two, or hopefully within the next year, but I'm going to forget unless I have those pictures right there. So I'm going to print the pictures out and include them. Here's the tray.
Look at the tray. Oh, that's going to be beautiful in there. I like the dark.
This is how far I got
you
working
got some
on that.
done. Good.
I did. I was able to work on this on the plane and at the airport. And so I think what my goal is going to be for this is to try to finish a row every month. And then the outer border is all non-stitch. And so if I do a row a month and then spend a month doing the non-stitch, I think I would be finished by August. And then do the little supplies. And it's in my box, but you got red and blue 103s on spools for this.
I love those colors.
I
love that red.
Is that pretty? I can't tell you off the top of my head which red it is, but I think it might be reading black, but it's red and blue, and someone said, well, it kind of looks patriotic, so yeah, so that would be a kind of appropriate thing to finish up for that. And then you had the opportunity to take additional classes with Mary Cox, and I did not take the one on Friday. The one on Friday, the people got this box. I think it was a black box, and it had like a stenciled bird on it that was beautiful.
I bet that was pretty.
It was really pretty. It was so pretty. Bird. But you know, I took another class. I took a class with her on Monday, and it was I got this in upside down. It was a colonial sewing set. And again, she just gave really wonderful instructions on this. And it included this adorable, this adorable little paper mache box.
I even like
Isn't that wonderful?
Look at the bottom.
And it included this little box that you put a pincushion in. And she even included in the set there, she has like a little spool. On the front, she has like a little spool of thread, and she gave us this paper to put on the top and bottom of the spool of thread. And of course, all the ribbon for finishing.
Oh, gosh.
And this is special. This is a lot of specialty stitches in this, but she encouraged us to get started on it when we were at the class, and that's how far I got. And these are herringbone. They're not just herringbone, it's like long, I think it's called long herringbone. I didn't do a very good job on the bottom, but by the time I got to the top, I kind of was getting a little more of the hang of it. And then you do like zigzag threads and couch them over the gold threads. So it's very, very tiny. This is a lot of it's 1/1 on that. But
Oh, I see.
it was
where you
fun. It was really fun.
I can see where you're kind of going.
And both of these sets included scissors. Oh, here's she included the little bobbin too. And so the paper to put over the little bob. Both the sets included scissors. The other one had a pair of red scissors. I had like a moment of panic when I was going through TSA yesterday, thinking, did I have five pairs of scissors in my carry-on? But actually I had put those in my check bag, so I didn't get flagged by. And then here's the silks and a couple of coloring cotton colors that go with that piece. So
much fun! Look at you. It's like Christmas all over again.
Oh my goodness, it was
how special.
It was. I can see why it's so hard to get into it, because it's just a wonderful, wonderful experience. If you're a person who loves the history of needlework, it's the epitome of what you would want to go and hear and learn about, the history of some aspect of the history of needlework. And so, of course, there was also a little bit of stash and hashment. I was going to do the gifts we got from the attic, and then kind of just the other gifts that we got. And so there was kind of like a berry theme, and so we all received this wonderful scattered seeds berry sampler, and Jean had passed around her finished version that she made.
That's one thing I want. It's on my list, is to do a berry. I have not done a berry yet, and I want to do it so bad.
And then we all received, so we have beautiful pins from Minnie McBean to put into the little berries. And then our friend Lisa Primson Greenway.
Oh, you got to see Lisa?
No, she wasn't there,
Oh.
but she made these for all of the attendees.
Oh, so sweet, Lisa.
Everyone was, a lot of people. I just didn't want to mess up the presentation because it's so beautifully presented, just so well done. A lot of people were wearing them already, but you can use it use it as a scissor fob or as a necklace.
Beautiful, Lisa.
I know.
Beautiful.
It is just absolutely. And then there's a little disc there that says Sampler Symposium 2024. So that's just a wonderful, wonderful memento. And then we got a mug mat,
With your sampler.
and some cards from this year's sampler. Isn't that wonderful?
Lovely.
And
An
then-
eyeglass.
I know. I
Wow.
was so excited to get Sarah Milthorpe was the sampler released at Sampler Symposium last year. And so we got the eyeglass. And I'd taken it out and put it in my case and took it back out to show it to you so I can use it now. So the eyeglass cleaner. And then we also got a box, and I have one out already, a box of magnets from, LaDonna is Samplings of Memories, and I think she made this key fob for us as well. And so, of course, I put that to use immediately.
Of course.
Then I also got this adorable
Another
bee waxer from Ava. So thank you. There's several Canadian stitchers here.
That doesn't look like art candy.
And so that's for you.
Oh, thank you.
We also got, this was from my table mate Jeanette, gave us scissor fobs, and these say, floss rings, and these have a tag that say, "We don't meet people by accident. They are meant to cross our path for a reason."
Oh, what a nice thing.
It has a little cactus on it, so a little reminder of our time in Arizona. The wonderful Teresa from Jersey Stitch Co.
hi,
Company had a
Teresa.
pop-up shop, and she generously gave me those, which match my
how
case
beautiful.
beautifully. And then she gave, this is for you.
Oh, thank you, my dear. Those are gorgeous.
Aren't they amazing? And so Teresa, she and her daughter do this business together, and her daughter is in grad school, and all the proceeds from her business go towards her daughter's tuition in grad school. So her work is beautiful. I know she does some special orders. They're just very, very well done. So if you aren't familiar with her
I think
shop,
they're so beautiful.
please check it out, because you can just see she had just a variety of
Oh my!
these counting pins.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Those are gorgeous.
So it was fun.
I should never miscount again.
Yes.
That's
Or we need to make special pin cushions for these to display these.
You have to. I mean,
They're so pretty.
So pretty.
And well done. So
And thanks for the
awesome. And then our friend Diane, the woodpecker's daughter, made these for us. So which one do you want?
Oh gosh. I'll take a sunflower.
That's what I said. That's what
I'm a sunflower girl.
They're so well made. She's just a beautiful stitcher.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. And because of Diane, I'll go ahead and show this to you.
Thank you for including
last
me.
Year, when I was at,
Oh, there's a little pocket in here.
isn't that adorable? You could put your cards of pins in there.
Oh my gosh.
As your cards and needles in there, as well as your pins. So, last year when I was at the retreat, Diane had showed, one of the amazing things is on Saturday night, not everyone, but whoever brings a piece does a show and share, and they come up and talk about their pieces. And some of it is so unbelievably moving, one person had stitched all of the pieces from Nicola's letters from Europe, and then she did, and it meant so much to her, she did a separate sampler where she just stitched the name of all the different pieces that she stitched, and just her story behind that is just...
Oh, that gives me goosebumps.
I know. And then Jackie, who we met at Quilter Station.
Hi, Jackie. Thank you.
She's just been stitching. I think she did her first linen piece and brought it, and that was amazing.
Wow.
So
We're so happy for you.
I know, it was really pretty. And then Jeanette at my table used to be in the Navy. So she took Paulette Stewart's Live on Little, and she put a nautical quote in there, and then she read us part of the poem that inspired that quote. So just wonderful ideas. I got to meet Catherine Adrian, who is stitching in costume, and she had a amazing piece. It's a pocket that she designed and stitched, and she has like Welsh corgis, so she had these little Welsh corgis with these sweet faces. Just a very advanced stitcher, and her things were just wonderful.
That's what this symposium sounds very advanced.
Well, I mean,
but yet
it's very inspiring.
So educational. And
so anyway, because of Diane, I had the Red Deer sampler kitted up. I had the pattern, so I got the floss. It's the silk floss for that. And then I love seraphim, so I asked them to include seraphim.
Beautiful.
That's 40 count prairie grass is what they selected for that. So
oh gosh, that's pretty. Oh, I'm so excited for you.
You tell me get right on it.
Yeah, get right on that. I can't wait to see what you got for whips next time.
I know. And then let's see. I put these in here, keep them safe. These are from Expert Stitcher, and this is got them upside down. The poor bird's flying upside down. And this is from a sampler she is planning to reproduce. I hope that's okay if I say that. But anyway, aren't those amazing? Those are so pretty. So pretty.
So special.
Yay, excited about that. And then this was from Terry McMillan, gave us all a sheet where we can keep track of our stitching, which is always...
Yes. Wow, so you had a great trip.
Well, and then I got just a little bit of haul because,
You can't go not buy anything.
I know. I picked up some. They have several sets of cards from Nicola, so picked up some cards because, it's always nice to have
You
those.
want to write a note?
Got this adorable pattern from Wendy, from the Heart. Do you have that?
No, I don't.
I got for you.
Oh, thank you.
Because it's two birds and it's kind of Valentine.
Oh,
and so
thank you.
got that for you. Thank you. They're Dutch.
Oh,
And I got to meet Wendy. Thanks. Hi, Wendy. Hope to see you again soon.
I love it. I'm going to start these right away.
I got Ruth Gibbs, because you can't leave the attic without a red cross stitch piece, and they had a whole table full of the red cross stitch pieces, and they were amazing. Scarlet Letter. I don't think I have this, and a Rhode Island sampler, and this is Betsy Davis. They have a huge section of Scarlet Letters. It was hard. I only bought one.
Looks like a nice pattern too.
Good.
Easy to read.
I've wanted this one for a while, so I went ahead and picked up Hannah Campbell. And who's working on that? Audrey is working on this. Audrey.
The colors of these new samplers,
Bead is working on that,
are just. I love the boldness.
I know, they're so pretty.
I know.
They're pretty. And then I picked up a book on Quaker samplers, because I love books. And then I wanted to thank our friend Gwen for giving me this book from her collection. It's called In the Neatest Manner, The Making of the Virginia Sampler Tradition. And so this is...
that came from her collection.
Yes, and so that is a book that I'm currently reading a biography of Jane Austen, but after that I'm going to sit down. It's just has tons of photos of samplers and, the history behind Virginia samplers, and so I'm really looking forward to reading that, so thank you. And then finally, Sarah Milthorpe was the sampler presented at last year's retreat, and it's the attic sampler of the month. So that means if you buy 2 parts of the project, whether it's the pattern and the linen and the floss, you get 10% off. If you buy all 3 parts of the project, you get 15% off. So I know a lot of us were kidding this up.
God, that's pretty.
Isn't that pretty?
Look at that red house.
Oh, I know. And those trees, they're just so pretty.
I just want to go home and stitch.
And then here is the flosses for those. And I goofed. Like I said, I was going to be brave, and so I picked up, where is it? I don't think it's this. I picked up Pamplemousse by Tabby Cat, because Grace from Paisley Stitches has this on Instagram, and I think she did Needle and Flax, I think Dirty Teacup, and it had a little bit of this orangey cast to it, so...
Oh, that's going to be beautiful.
But that had a little bit of staining too, yes.
Look at that.
Well, I will give it a try. I think I should have got Swatagé for 56 count.
Is that thinner? Mm-hmm. Oh.
But I will give it a try, and if this doesn't work, then I will keep this for
something else.
Something else,
but these colors are
just aren't they pretty?
They sure do look pretty on that paper.
And then one other thing, and this was not actually haul, but I'd mentioned that I'm part of the Tudor Rose Guild, and they have a magic challenge where at the beginning of the year you turn in the list of like 5 things that either you want to finish or FFO this year. And then at our meeting in January on the first Tuesday of the month, they went through and they showed everyone's finishes, which was, again, so inspiring, some of the things that people made. And then they gave away 20 or so. Magic stands for my annual good intentions contract, and so I think you have to the end of this month, I believe, to turn it in. If you're a member, there's a place on the membership page where you go and turn it in, and then they send you an email with that. Well, I was lucky enough to have my name drawn, and so I got this cute little package with these flosses from Color and Cotton, and they're kind of all special edition,
again, just absolutely
kind of
stunning
fall colors. So
that blue.
They said this pumpkin pie is
God,
high demand, but yes, I love my fall colors, so
beautiful.
happy to win those in this cute little package. So thank you, Ava, for delivering that to me. I know, I was so excited. So And then it just says a lot, I think, for Jean Lee, that a lot of shop owners attend this retreat, and because they want to support her. And for a shop owner to take time away from their shop, you know how busy everyone is, and come and they help with distributing things during the event. They go to the shop and they help with crowd control and with, getting people
passing
checked
things
out
out
and everything. And so,
What a treat for you.
well, I mean, it's
It's a
just
privilege.
it's so wonderful that they support Jean Lee in this way. She's such a sweet woman,
she is.
and it's so much work to put this on, and she's so enthusiastic and happy and cheerful
Always
the
has a
whole
spirit,
time. And
always.
so thank you. I just feel very, very privileged to get the opportunity to attend it this year. So
Oh, I'm glad you got to go.
thanks. I wish you were there.
I wish I was too. Well, maybe
we
one
would
of
have
these
gotten in
days.
even more trouble. So that wraps it up. So we're a little bit late because I just got home late yesterday.
At least you
and
got
so-
on the right plane.
So the other thing, I posted this on Instagram when I went to pick up my car and check out the parking garage. I had a $400 bill for parking, because if you watched our previous Instagram or our previous Flosstube, you know that as I came home from our family trip on Christmas Day, I passed out in the
feeling
aisle of
good.
the plane and was taken by
Rushed.
ambulance to the hospital just as a precaution. Everything's okay. And so my poor husband was so anxious, and a policeman escorted, helped him got our luggage, and then took him to our parking place. And I can just imagine what state he was in, and they were able to get him out without checking out. So it looks like we've been parking there for the last month.
That accumulated. It was a big
It's
SABLE.
like- I'm like, just pay it. I'll work it out tomorrow, because it was, almost midnight, and it was so cold. My hands were freezing. I was trying to run the credit card in the machine, and finally, one of the guys who does the shuttle bus said, "Just go to the office and work it out." So I went to the office, and they really told them what happened, and they quickly remedied it, so I
Oh,
could
good. You didn't have to deal with
go
that
home
today.
and not have to
Go
pay
to
a
bed.
$400 to get out of the parking lot.
Get out of jail. That'd be next. She'll call me and she'll go,
know,
Lenny,
it
I
was
need
like,
some money
oh
to
my
get out of
God.
jail.
And you'd be like, "Oh, this is an AI call." It's
I
like-
know it. Here's a pretty click.
Yes.
Oh. Well,
That was
no. Okay, well, let's see. I have one more Pepper joke. And then so watch out, Pepper. It says, how does Pepper shop? How does Pepper the cat shop?
I don't know.
To the catalog. So watch your
There's
credit
lots of-
card.
There's lots of possibilities.
Possibilities. Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
So, well, I have a different kind of a bedtime story for you. I've done a lot of reflection at the beginning of this year, and we did have a neighbor. My next door neighbor had passed away suddenly after a surgery, and it was just a normal surgery, but he developed sepsis, and anyway, he passed away real quickly. But I have been, reflecting in the beginning of the year and going through our whips and watching all the whip parades, and something came up on my phone that it's just kind of, I don't know. It's like somebody from above was saying something to me, and I wanted to read that to you, and then I wanted to tell you a little bit more about it. And this will apply to some of you, maybe not to all of you, but for us, people that were born. Okay, we're back. Sorry, we had a little bit of technology
I
problems.
forgot
So
to put it on airplane mode and kept getting a call.
I think we stopped. I think I'll start from the beginning of the story that had showed up on my phone. I was talking about my neighbor that had passed away. And again, I'm kind of talking about myself, I guess, and the reflection that I have kind of gone through since the beginning of the year. They call us the elderly. We were born in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. We grew up in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. We studied in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. We were dating in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. We got married and discovered the world in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. We ventured into the 80s and 90s. We kind of stabilized in the 2000s, and we got smarter in 2010s. And we are going firmly through and beyond 2020. Turns out we've lived through 8 different decades, 2 different centuries, 2 different millennia. We've experienced Pearl Harbor, the moon landing, 9/11, World War II, Korea, Cuban Missile Crisis, Vietnam, the Cold War, Desert Storms, and other military conflicts. We have gone from the party line telephone with an operator for long-distance calls to video calls to anywhere in the world. We have gone from slides to YouTube, from vinyl records to online music, from handwritten letters to emails and WhatsApp, from live matches on the radio to black and white TV, color TV, and then 3D HD TV. We went to the video store, and now we watch Netflix. We got to know the first computers, punch cards, floppy disks, and now we have gigabytes and megabytes on our smartphones. We wore shorts throughout our childhood, and then long trousers, Oxfords, poodle skirts, flares, shell suits, and blue jeans. We dodged infantile paralysis, meningitis, polio, tuberculosis, swine flu, and now COVID-19. We rode skates, tricycles, bicycles, mopeds, petrol or diesel cars, and now we drive hybrids and electric. Yes, we've been through a lot, but what a great life we've had. They could describe us as exennials, people who were born in that world of the 50s who had an analog childhood and a digital adulthood. We kind of seen it all. Our generation has literally lived through and witnessed more than any other and every dimension of life. It is our generation that has literally adapted to change. And that was what was sent to me. And I thought about it, and then going through the funeral yesterday, they had a military service for Les. And he had so many friends and that were veterans, and it moved me so much to and the people I talked to, a lot of his friends, and they were just so privileged to serve for our country and give so much, and to think that we have lived through all of that, take a lot of that for granted. And that was always everyone I talked to, it's a privilege to serve our country. And to me, gosh, I'm so sorry, I'm kind of mushy about this today, but to have lived through so much what they have lived through on the bright side and not the negative side, that I feel privileged to be here with you and with Roberta and the friends that we have made, and the the beautiful things that we get to do, and just not to take life for granted and enjoy every minute of it. You're here one day, you never know what's, you're not guaranteed the next day. So, Les up there in heaven, we miss you, and I know Pippa will miss her treats, but feel privileged every day to do what you like to do what you want to do, stitch what you want to stitch on, eat what you want to eat, but, take care of yourselves. And I so appreciate all the new generation that's coming up behind us and further. They seem to be further behind us and further behind us, and and I hope everybody has a chance to do whatever hobby that you enjoy to do, and just have fun. Every day, make it fun. And again, this is just my thoughts and where I am in life, and wish the best for every one of you that's out there, and that you get to enjoy and have the privilege of doing what you want to do every day. So
That's very well said. So
I love you all so much. Thank you for letting us.
we really do
share with you.
appreciate you. All the comments, all the people that come up to us at retreats and mention they watch us. We're so humbled and just so grateful for each one of you, and wish we could just spend time with each one of you and get to know you.
And hug every
because
one
it just
of you.
means a lot.
So
We love our stitching community.
We do.
It's the absolute best. And then I feel silly saying this, but if you like the content, we hope you like and subscribe. And we're getting very close to a milestone and want to celebrate that with you. And think we have some special things planned to share with you. So
again, thank you so much, and we hope to see you the next time.
Love
And
you.
Take care of
care.
yourself.
Bye.
Okay.